and the Heat. And this is going to be a rematch of the first round last year. So with the Bucks and the Heat, you have a team in the Heat that started off this season not the way that you want to start off the season. The Bucks 1-1. They haven't played a lot. The Bucks pretty much everybody started. Everybody really started on Wednesday, but the Bucks started on Thursday, and then they played a game Sunday. So they haven't had to play too many games yet, but this week is going to be filled with a lot of them. So tonight you got a game that's a good bounce back, and everybody's going to be on Dame Lillard again to bounce back from a 6-point performance that he had last night, where he went 2 for 10 and 2 for 8 from the 3-point stripe. But I truly do think that you got to back up off of Dame. Dame is going through a lot right now, and basketball is kind of far from what's important for him right now, in my opinion. Even though it's his job, it pays him, it makes him the guy he is. But I'm not going to talk about what's going on because you guys can read newspapers and know what's going on. But that's a tough situation. You just got traded, and now your family's kind of splitting apart, and you're trying to figure out exactly how do I fit into this new team. And then you got the leader of the team handing you the team saying that lead us, but he's the one that's won a championship. So there's a lot of sense that needs to start being made with the Bucks. I think that everybody doesn't want to be accountable of being the leader, because I think when they got the idea when they lose, they got to be the one that faces the music. They got to be the one that takes the blame. So Giannis, in a sense, is trying to hand the team over to Dame, so then they can have things put on Dame's head. They're doing the same thing that they did to Westbrook when he went to Houston. And so pretty much I think that you got to get out of that mentality. Giannis has to say to him, I got your back, bro, for the first few months. And as we keep going into this thing, I can gradually let you take over what we're doing here. But you can't just force Dame to just come in here and just change the whole culture of the team. He's never won at a high level in the NBA. That's where people get messed up. They really look at all the scoring and they equate that to actual winning, and it hasn't worked out like that. The guy hit 2 buzzer beaters, and all of a sudden you want to put him in the top 50 of all time players. It just doesn't work like that. So, Dame tonight, I would say don't invest so highly in what he's doing tonight. If he has a great game, good. If he has a bad game, it is what it is. But they're trying to win the game, and they have to figure out who they are as a team. They can't have Kobe, Shaq with Dame and Giannis, because they have a much better roster than Kobe and Shaq had. And those guys can play as well too. Brook Lopez has to step up his game. Middleton has to step up his game as well too. Miami's coming in here. We know that they're slow cookers. Bam, Jimmy, Tyler, all these guys are going to all be here, really being a nuisance to all these teams in the coming months. But right now they're figuring out who to put on the team and who to put off the team. That's pretty much the position that they're in as well too, because they lost some key players that helped them get to the finals, but they didn't lose the core. That's the thing. So pretty much tonight, this is a very 50-50 game. Even though you got a 5.5 spread to Milwaukee tonight, the Heat do pose the idea that they can beat these guys. They beat them last year. What was it, a sweep? So, at the end of the day, Miami is the team that you have to really sit up in here and say, we know that they're the wild card. We know we got to take this game as serious as possible. And you know what? This could be a good bounce back from what happened last night. But at the same time, too, we don't need to worry about games in October. We need to start building a chemistry for games in April, May, and June. Okay? So where I'm going with this one is simple. I'm going to go ahead and take the under 225 because that's what it's jumped to. It's at 223, but it jumped to 225. So it is what it is, and that's what it's going to be. So we move forward with that, and we move into our next game, which is going to be the Mavericks and the Grizzlies. And the Grizzlies coming to this game winless, 0-3, and the dog